Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Rapichas here. Just wanted to show you one game between Luke McShane and Hamitevich Vladimir from Moldova. They both, McShane is very famous, and Moldova is famous in this tournament that they being like 48th seed. They will end up top 10, probably top 7, something like this. Uh, They beat Norway with Carlsen, who was seeded actually number 3. They beat uh, England, and they beat another, made a couple of draws as well with strong opponents. So, and it's interesting that they have one GM and other players are international masters, and they still like end up in top 10. So that's what modern international master is capable of. And their leader, Shitko Ivan, his rating performance 2600, and he drew against Magnus Carlsen, lost one game. Just excellent job. Okay, so let's see this game. Let me close this quickly. Okay. So Luke McShane plays white, e4, d6, e4, knight f6, knight c3, g6. So this is Pierce defense. Very aggressive, very risky for black. Don't really recommend it, but a lot of players play it. There is some practical meaning in this, that you playing this every time, and you kind of prepared better than in this long variations of Rui Lopez, for instance. Yeah, and setups are more have more similarities like in Sicilian defense, where you can get everything, basically every position out of Sicilian. Queen d2, so these two pieces line up to go to h6 and trade, probably because this bishop is quite strong. 5, 7, and castles kingside. So white actually decided not, they don't want any of this kingside attacks, yeah, that to give black too much initiative. He wants just to have a calm, normal game and win with less blood. h3 and e5. So black starts to, you know, create some tension in the center. I wouldn't play like this. I try to play a5, a4. I don't want to shut down this bishop. And with this kingside castling, I think this attack is not that dangerous. But he decided to play this. Luke traded and played a4. So actually, white has big advantage now. b4 is only move. And because, I mean, a lot of these pawns are weak, and they create a lot of space for white to attack. And black doesn't have really a lot of counterplay, so I must say that white totally won the opening battle. c5, you need to defend the pawn. Knight to g3. Not that Luke wanted to play like this, because with this g6 pawn you don't want to place your knight here because it doesn't have anywhere to go. But he needs some space to free some space for his queen, for instance, yeah, and then maneuver the knight to c4. a5 and rook to d1. It's actually inaccuracy. He should have played this rook to d1, because when you black obviously wants to play bishop to a6. This is one of his ideas. And with bishop on a6, it's kind of important that this rook stays protected on d1. Okay, but it's fine anyway. Bishop b5 and bishop a6. So the difference here is that if this rook is on a1, then they can just win by taking. But if they take here, then this rook on f1 is hanging. So it's important nuance. And white is not. I mean, engine shows that black is actually better in this position. I don't see how they better because they have this. They control this line, and I mean, it's questionable whether you want to play c4 or not. But engine says that black is doing very well. Bishop, queen g5, defended. And now he doubles rook. So white's play is much easier. Yeah, they have the file. They have better king. Obviously, this knight f5 is a threat. You cannot really play rook to d6 because of this fork. So white just builds up a big advantage. Knight f5, and he moves his knight to e3. Very nice. Now knight goes to d5. f6. Queen c6, going away from this attack. At d5 and b3. So engine said that you have to play rook to a1. This is like if you play like this, then you probably will have a problem with arbiter. Yeah, that for cheating. Just ridiculous move. b3 is so natural, but he says that it allows c4, and black is doing like okay. But I don't see how black is actually okay here. Look at these knights, and these rooks are not that great, and this knight is beautiful here. This knight is useful. Is going. And white has everything, yeah, and still engine somehow defends it. Knight d6, knight to c4, and white won a pawn. f5. So computer valuation is +3. They have extra pawn. They have good king. But that's why chess is so exciting. Yeah, that out of nowhere, black creates a big attack on black. Yeah, and I don't know. It's like a kind of a miracle, but didn't work that way. So Luke took on f5. Engine says that impossible to play f4 move is the best, but taking is fine. Rook to e1, and you want to create another threat to capture on d4. Saw it, and f3. Now play f3. So again, black somehow outplayed here. They created, like semi-created, not like a plan, but a settings that his knight can infiltrate, he can start attacking with these pawns, and kind of king is not that safe anymore. Queen c5, so you can have this threat, in h1, and h5. So rar, everything is going against the king. h4, which is a good move. 4, takes, and rook to g8. So black managed to open up the g file, and they're first to attack. And actually, somehow his king is very safe, and white's king is actually in big trouble, yeah, because black will play queen to d5, and then they will threaten this pawn, and I don't see how actually white survives here. I think Luke didn't understand it either, yeah, so that this position is almost lost. e4 and rook to f4. This is in this position only move is queen to h2, which is impossible to play because after this move you have to find rook to f2. Yeah, and even if you capture here, then engine suggests that this is like totally drawn position, but I don't see how Luke could solve this rook to f2 and that it allows rook h4 and it doesn't lose immediately. So Um, so that would happen, rook to f1, and in this position, black found an excellent move again. They played d3. So if you capture here, the rook is hanging, yeah, then it's mate in one. So you can do that. And if you take this pawn, then it's yeah, takes, and queen g5. Yeah, just destroying white position. So sacrificing a pawn and creating lots of threats. b3 took, and he took the rook, and black played c1 queen. So I showed why you couldn't capture it. So Luke sought for forever, and he just gave up. He has some compensation actually. He took the knight, but yeah, white has a worse queen, and black has two queens. So he took again. Nice tactic. If you capture here, then it's mate. So he played rook defense and queen to d4. Never seen anything like this. Rook is hanging, queen is hanging, rook is pinned, and the second queen mates, yeah, if you capture it. So queen f1, and Luke played till mate, because it was the last game of the match between England and Moldova, and he had nothing to lose. Again, all mates are threatening, so he sacrifices for some checks. Check, check, queen f6. Yeah, again, you cannot capture it because this rook is pinned. Check. Another sacrifice. Yeah, so many sacrifices, and black won. Excellent win by black. It's not conventional and not the way it should be in chess. Yeah, that white did everything right. They get a better position, +4, and some activation of pieces happened miraculously, and black won. All right. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.